Okay, hey anyone's welcome back to the channel. If it's your first time here ever, welcome for the first time. I am Meela Vanderbilt and today we are talking about some Second Life things. So recently, or over the past couple of months, I guess you can say, I've been spending a lot of time trying to figure out what I want my relationship with Second Life to be. You guys know a couple months ago I decided to stop streaming Second Life for the most part outside of sponsored streams or our shopping with like access and things like that. I also was trying to make a commitment to continue to stream Bayside, which is my city in Second Life, if you guys don't know, and also possibly engage more with my Shape Shop Honey. But over the past couple of months, I really kind of just distanced myself from Second Life overall. I thought it was just going to be, am I lagging? Bleh! Hold on. I really just wasn't logging in at all outside of streams, and I feel like I did so much to try to make, excuse me, I did a lot to try to make, things kind of stay how they are, but without me. And then for a while, I was even searching for a co-owner for Bayside. I announced to you guys that I was looking for a co-owner. I actually met with a couple of people that I thought were really good candidates for it. And just the deeper we got into those discussions and the farther I got along, I just realized what a big undertaking it is to really bring somebody in as a partner. And if I didn't have the time to commit to just running the city as it was, I really didn't have the time to commit to trying to get all of those things ready for a partner. And I didn't think it would be fair. So I recently made a decision, and it's something like literally I have been thinking about for the past 4 months. And I really spent the past couple of months trying to make the situation work with a co-owner and thinking that was kind of the resolution to all of this. But just at the end of the day, I think, this chapter with Bayside is coming to a close. And I always said forever that I would keep Bayside going for as long as there was interest in it. But I think we've kind of passed that point as well. There have been many times where I tried to find people that wanted to lead in the city, decide how the roleplay operated, be administrators or managers or mods. And we just haven't had the interest there. And it's not something I can do completely on my own. So I tell y'all all the time, I'm very good at knowing when it's time for me to just like step aside and if it's not something that the general community is interested in. I love Bayside. I think it's beautiful. I kind of want to spin this video after this announcement, just kind of showing the city, because like I haven't showed it in its full since, just recently with a bunch of additions and things that have changed. I want to thank everyone who's been a part of the community. There are people that have been there since day one that are still around, and I really thank you for your support and for your interest in being there. I wish I had more time, because I really wanted this to be the last option. It is such a stab to the heart to have to get rid of it. I have so many memories here. So much of my Second Life has been spent here and dedicated here. And I really see closing the city as kind of a closing my chapter to Second Life in general. So I'm very sad to see it go. But all good things come to an end. But again, I am so grateful for but I'm so grateful. Bitch. But I am so grateful for all of the memories that I have here. I have countless streams here that just really epitomized what I find a great experience in Second Life to be. So I'm grateful for all of that. I'm grateful for everyone who's been there. I'm going to send more details out to the Bayside Discord server for, anyone who is a resident here or anyone who's still here. I'm not exactly sure how long exactly I'll have it up. I know at least for another week. Kind of things are a bit kismet. Like the timing on all of this is kind of working out in a certain way. I don't want to get all emo, so I'm just going to go into what I was going to go into. We're going to have to ignore some of this. I'm on my Twitch scene. I meant to be on a different scene, but hold on a second. But I figured we could just kind of take some time to just go around the city. I myself just kind of want my memories of it, and I want to be able to have something to look back to remember kind of what things looked like when they were still here. I'm going to start off exactly where it all started. So Faith and Flower was my first standalone restaurant that I had, and this is where it started. I had a sim called the Vanderbilt, and it had this, and there was another section to it that had another restaurant and a gaming bar, and that's where I started a lot of my stream stuff, and a lot of where my initial streams were filmed, and a lot of my initial role play happened right here in Faith and Flower. And this has always been a restaurant that I loved. And as Roleplay kind of evolved over the years, we've just continued to evolve what Faith and Flower is, which is broken right now. But over the years, I've seen so many people come here and hang out and have really cool experiences. I remember we used to have like VIP areas over here that would res out all these different scenes for like Valentine's Day and date nights and birthdays. And I've just seen so many people come here and celebrate. I've seen so many like after church dinners and get togethers. I've seen so many people on dates, and I really loved it. And every time there was like a new role play system out, we completely changed how the restaurant operated. So we could continue to serve people no matter what their interests are. And, it's something that was both self service and full service. So people could come in here and get everything going themselves, or they could hire a waitress who worked here, which was really cool. And then, with the release of My Story, we turned the kitchen to My Story restaurant or My Story kitchen. And people were able to come up here and cook and make meals to order, which was a really fun experience. There's even a bathroom back there. We don't need to go into the bathroom, but I really enjoyed my time here, and I've seen so many people who are new to Second Life, who are new to making money, come in here and like just bartend and start to earn their keep and kind of make their way around the city, which I always thought was cool. I remember for a while I wanted this to be a restaurant called Perch. It's another one of my favorite LA restaurants, which Faith and Flower also was. There was a restaurant called Faith and Flower. It closed during COVID, and it was heartbreaking to see that restaurant close. So I always thought it was really fun to have kind of an homage to it in Second Life, which it truly is. I did build a lot of what the vibe is in there based on the actual Faith and Flower, and I think it was a pretty like close, not duplicate, but it was a pretty close match. And I think it was just a really cool space. Like even eating outside, I had so many work meetings or girls' nights or brunches just literally right here, and it was always so fun. I even filmed a couple episodes for different series in here, which were always a lot of fun. So lots of memories there. Perch never came to be, but it was an idea for a while. I'm not going to go over there yet. Let's go to the actual Vanderbilt. So I created this building to kind of, pay homage to what the original block was that kind of was the center of Bayside. Because like I said, I had that sim called the Vanderbilt. It was just focused on restaurants. And then when I decided I wanted a city, it's like I almost picked it up and put it here. And this was the center of what Bayside became. We built the entire city around this block right here. So when I decided I wanted a building here instead of the full block of what the Vanderbilt used to be, I really found passion in real estate and virtual real estate. I have even decided recently to get my real estate license and just like explore that area, because I've really enjoyed kind of the world it's opened me up to, and also my whole family in real estate. Child, I should have been in there. But anyway, so many memories in here of, all of our agents and just working back here. I would park myself here, even if it wasn't working on real estate, to just like spend my work day. And this really became such a comforting place to be, especially like during COVID when I was missing just being in my office. And there are office sounds in here. I don't have any sounds going right now, but there are so many sounds, and like having that vibrancy and having people walk in and out and sit at their desks and work and just like hang around. It was really cool. And Raina used to sit here back in the day. But, like this is Indy's desk, Adonis is there, Yams is there. We never actually got two more agents here. We had a couple of people come and go, but we had a really solid team, and I really respect the work they do. And, they've kind of stuck it out for the long haul. We gonna miss little baby Akilu. And then, across here, kind of a new development, but we started to build out, or I guess I started to build out the conference rooms, because I really wanted this to feel like a full office. So we had all these conference spaces for people to come meet, to talk about real estate, but also kind of my unfinished project, Vanderwork, which was meant to be a shared co-working space that was very similar to WeWork. And I just thought it was so cool. I enjoyed working in the office here so much. And I know a lot of people who would come to my work streams and things like that always mention that they leave their avatars in Second Life. So I thought it would be really cool to have like a shared working space for all of us. And, the conference rooms downstairs were kind of an extension of this. There's a larger conference room up here, but people could also make use of these, reserve these as they wanted. There was a little bar in here to socialize, and then a larger conference room just right on the first level as well, which was really cool. We had this like schedule board where you could schedule or book the conference room whenever you wanted to. And this is where the bot would sit. The bot who should be here. I guess I'll check in on that, but she should. And this is the break room. So, everything here was enabled for role play. There's a fridge here that's missing right now. Maybe I just need to get closer. Let me TP over. So is the bot here? That is the question. She is. She's loading. I will show you Zane before we leave because Zane is such a staple at Bayside and it'll be weird to have life without Zane. But anyway, in the fridge, we kept all types of like role play food. So if people got hungry throughout the day in their HUD, they could use it. They could also come here and hang out, take a nap if they needed to restore energy. This bathroom has seen so much. Like it is just where we try to catch up on our stats. This stall, for whatever reason, never worked. So I've always had the out of order sign there. I have changed my little Second Life baby's diapers here countless times. I have seen people who are brand new to Second Life because, we were a very welcoming community, especially people who are newcomers. But I've seen so many people in this bathroom and all of their demo glory, just trying on things and trying to get their avatars together. And seeing them connect with people who were just passing through and offer to lend a hand. So I always thought that was a really special place. Like just the bathroom at the Vanderbilt, always busy. And then I think this was a really cool space to have. I was so fond of farmers markets in real life. And, in Second Life, I always thought it was a cool concept. So, there were baby, I don't know what happened here, but my voice turned into a complete robot. But I was just talking about the farmers market up here. It was kind of one of those markets where people could come up and shop, but then every Sunday we would open up for a live role play event where the vendors here would just like exchange and sell different role play goods and services, and it was just a really cool vibe. And then I was talking about how this greenhouse has been a million different things. It's been so many different cafes and just really cool spots, and I was going to try to find some pictures to insert here, but it's already 2:45 a.m. baby, and I'm trying to have this video out by morning, so no pictures, but I'll follow up with some things, I'm sure, at some point on my socials or on the channel. But yeah, I'm back with a lot of noise. Hopefully it's not too loud in the background. Hold on, I had to restart my whole computer. Love that. But it has been a very long day of streaming. I had 3 streams today. So can't be too surprised. I'm gonna leave that as is. I don't know. All right, let's get back into Second Life. I was a little choked up trying to spit out what I was trying to say earlier. So, maybe we could be a little more coherent this time around. But also, another big factor of this, of course, I haven't profited from Bayside in a very long time. A while ago, the cost of land ownership and land in general went up. And I made a very conscious decision that I wasn't going to increase the price of anything in the city. And doing that knowing that I would very likely not profit from the city, it didn't matter to me because I like I said, Bayside was here to hopefully I could just build a place that people found to be a cool backdrop for their own stories. And I just wanted a place where people could kind of do their own thing. Second Life definitely, I think roleplay communities require a great deal more involvement of owners and people involved that I just no longer could give. And part of that being, streaming in general taking me away quite a bit, and my interests in life taking me away quite a bit. And then just also, I think my commitment and my respect to Second Life and Linden Labs pushing me away quite a bit. I think, Second Life is going in a direction where I just don't see me wanting to be a part of it. And it's very clear that they're showing their values and, where they see themselves kind of technologically. And it's just something that I don't find myself excited about. So if I personally am not excited about the platform, I just can't stay. So I showed you the Vanderbilt. Let's go behind the Vanderbilt. So we have this really cool, we had a couple of businesses here. And of course, like I said, haven't been around really since November. So a lot of these things have just kind of gone quiet. And I think also just with, originally our community saw a lot of excitement with my story. And I think that excitement has died down quite a bit. So, it's kind of hard to navigate or figure out what kind of role play business to have in a city that so heavily supported a role play system that a lot of people are kind of losing interest in. I even played with the idea of having our own role play system, and I actually had a developer start working on it, and that didn't pan out. So I think there's just been a lot of things kind of pushing to this end. So, while I'm sad about it a little bit, I do see it as being the best choice for us. But anyway, this is our little food court, and this is right behind the office building. So there were times when all of these were completely full and rented out, and we would be able to leave the office and come back here and grab a snack or grab a snack during lunch. A lot of us, or some of us at real estate, had our little golf carts here. I remember me and Raina going around the city so much in golf carts, and it was so fun. And, I've had plenty of accidents around the city and to end up parking here. And this little newsstand that we never actually had come to fruition, we had some ideas of having a city like role play newspaper, but again, it was one of those things where I would have had to do it all. And I just didn't have the time to be everybody and everything for everyone in the city. I put this McDonald's out that no one ever was interested in, but I think it was a really cool McDonald's. The build was quite different when I got it, and I had to do a lot of customization to kind of get it to fit the city. I think I was going to put a bathroom over here because I kind of closed that space out. But, I thought it would be a cool hangout. It was on its own parcel. I had some real ratchet music playing on the stream, but like whoever owned it could have changed that. But nobody wanted McDonald's. I think, Bayside isn't one of those cities where we have like a bunch of like real places. I think it very much is a fantasy place. So McDonald's wasn't the best choice. And then, of course, we have Creation, which was my newest creation in the city. And I was very excited to have this restaurant, get started and open up. But, I'm okay with this never coming to light. I had a lot of fun building it. And, I think it really would have been a really beautiful place. I'm going to let it res a little bit. We had a big earthquake tonight in Los Angeles, y'all. I don't know. It might have been the biggest I've ever felt. I should probably look up what it was. But I'm going to teleport over here too. But yes, so we have Creation. So it's meant to be just like a really earthy, it's kind of inspired. There's a movie, I forget the name of it, where all these people go out to this really super fancy restaurant where the chefs are like the stars of the show, and there's this open concept and people can watch all of them work while they order these really elite dishes, and it's all like very conceptual and like low key they're all about to be murdered or something. I forget what the name of it is, but I loved that movie low key, and this was heavily inspired by it. It doesn't look like that restaurant exactly, but I built the restaurant around the concept of that movie, and I thought it was really cool, like everyone being murdered at dinner. But I just think it was really beautiful. I loved these chairs. I loved like the mixture of cement and plants. It was a really earthy vibe for me that I just am obsessed with. And the kitchen to me, the kitchen, I am obsessed with this kitchen. Like, if I could do nothing in Second Life but log in and stand around here and take pictures, I totally would. I also fell in love with the TV show The Bear. And I mean, they didn't have a kitchen like this, but the kitchen was very much the focus of the show. And I really wanted to create a role play experience surrounded by that. So we were actually doing a lot with the role play system to incorporate the role play here and what it looked like for a restaurant role play. I think it would have been really exciting. But, if the time ever comes, it'll come. There's an elevator over here. I had to actually make it a teleport elevator because I didn't build the space to support an actual elevator. But upstairs, this is where I pictured we would have a brunch and things like that. So I modeled this after, there's actually a restaurant in LA called Castaway. Oh, no, it's in Burbank. And it's one of my favorite places to go. And it has like really intimate seating. Like the seating is kind of like this. There are a bunch of tables, lots of umbrellas, but you're kind of close to each other. But everything is just so clean and orderly, and the views are insane. Like if I can find it, I'll insert a couple of pictures in this video, but I wanted to recreate the Castaway vibe. And Castaway is not a rooftop, but you're literally on the side of a mountain on like the top. So it feels very much like it. And LA is known for its rooftops, but I put the bar here, never quite finished up here, but these were just very gorgeous sets. And these were from, I don't know how to say the store name, Urfi. I'm not too sure. And one really cool thing, like if you sit on them, the seats come out. I just thought that was a really fun feature. I'm broken. She's like, girl, you haven't logged me in who knows how long, and you're trying to get me to do things. She wants a nap. But anyway, yeah, you can sit in them. Not in that pose. I would have to adjust. But you get the gist. What a cute feature. But love that. And then, you know, we had our home. So this is the infamous Melrose. Is this Melrose? I don't think so. This is, I don't know what the address is here. Oh, Beverly Boulevard. The first street I ever worked on when I moved to LA was Beverly Boulevard. So like this has always been a very special place to my heart, and no one has known that because I've never mentioned that anywhere. But I fell in love with this house when I first saw it. Once I got it, it felt a little ridiculous. There was someone living here that rented it out from the moment I bought it until recently. So they kind of stuck it out for a while, but the longer I looked at it, the more out of place it looked in the city. And then also just like it felt like a corporate building or something. I did see someone decorate theirs. It was Caria, who owns Canopy, and she had the same house out, and it was decorated gorgeously. And I was like, oh, let me just take pictures. People need inspo, because what a colossal thing to try to decorate. It's a huge house. It's completely ridiculous. But I did build like its own access to the beach that I was intending to completely remodel. So I was actually planning on working with a landscaper on this because I've never quite loved the beach. There's not much beach space. And this was the small part that was done by a landscaper when I first started. So the story, me and Raina worked on this and built this first sim within a matter of days because I hired a landscaper who sat on it for so long that I was like, we're just losing too much money at this point. Let's roll up our sleeves and do it ourselves. But the thing that they did put out were some of these initial roads over here and this beach. And from there, we just took over. So it was my first time building a whole sim by myself. But, you know, we definitely, and I don't know if it was Raina's first time, but we just rolled up our sleeves and got to it. This had the Halloween the Halloween fair, and I never put anything back up because I never came back after November. So that's just been empty for a couple of months. All right, where do I want to take you? I think let's continue up Beverly since we were over here. Of course, we have the Beverly twins. So they share a driveway, and there's this little balcony that kind of is meant to be a cute little view of the city, your little like hideaway you can tuck down. At some point I was like, maybe people might want to go down there. So I put this little thing here, this rope thing, so they could climb down and climb up if they wanted to. We have a bunch of these off-sim swimmers, so people could actually like hop into the ocean and swim around if they wanted. But yeah, these were two of my favorite houses. They're very quirky. I think Adonis was the agent on both of these. So you may have seen videos of Adonis just like showing these houses off. And you can see like all open currently. And then this house is one of the first party houses that we had in the city. There were so many parties. Like I said, back when people, I think there was just a shift overall. A lot of people kind of had their own personal role play stories going along with the city. So it didn't put so much pressure on just one person to try to be the role play center for everyone. I remember the first few people that lived here would always have like dinners, and I remember they had a huge garden back here, and they would throw pool parties, and everybody would be wasted and dancing around, and those were a lot of fun things. But this over here, this is my Melrose Place. So I didn't really have a concept to make it like Melrose Place. Melrose Place in real life is where I go to get my laser hair removal, and it looks nothing like this. Even the show Melrose Place looks nothing like this, but it was kind of gated and closed off, and that's just where I wanted to go with it. This was a quirky house because I remember getting this and thinking like, it feels a little too homey to be in the city, but that's the thing about LA. Like, you will see so many different style homes driving down one street that it's crazy. But one thing I always loved about it was kind of this secret pathway that I put down here in this like really chill spot to just hang out and chill in the ocean, chill by the water. I have spent so many like hours down here just chilling out with friends and chatting. And I think that's what made it that made it really special for like my friendship group. And of course, another swimmer, because if you want to swim around, child. But this would be off sim. But yeah, you're right on the edge of the sim, kind of nestled away in your private own little nook. I absolutely loved just the vibe of over here. All right, where am I taking next? Let's go this way. Whew, this is a long tour. I didn't realize it was going to be so long. So this is Abbot Kinney. I remember when I decided to build an LA based city, I was like, I have to have Abbot Kinney. It's my favorite place in Venice to go. And it was one of the first places that I ever went like away from where I lived when I first moved to LA. And this is actually the first place I went to Creation, the restaurant Creation, which I built that other one, like not really based on because it doesn't look anything like that. But it's spelled the same way. And the food menu that I was going to have at Creation would have been what they have at the real Creation. But it was the first time I went there. And I remember being on Abbot Kinney and like walking around and just shopping with one of my friends. And we're starting to pass by this really earthy looking restaurant. And they have all these like big plastic syringes outside with liquids in different colors. And we're like, what the hell is this? And they're like, oh, do you want a shot? And they're like different random juice shots. And I was like, this is the most LA experience I've ever had in my life. So I was like, we need an Abbot Kinney. So here we had a lot of really cool like shops. These have been a million different things. We've had a spa here. I literally just put this building down the other day because I was starting to redo like what things look like over here. I wanted to just kind of update it. I think I updated like the floors. I didn't make it very far after that, but this is a really cool shape shop that's been around forever. Let's see. I didn't finish this. Another unfinished project. I was building a beauty bar. So Sev, that's actually the name of the place where I go get my laser hair removal. And they also do like lip injections and all these other things. So I was like, oh, it'd be cool to have a cute little beauty bar. So I was starting that. I was going to have like different My Story foods and different things for like your hygiene and happiness and stuff. And just a place to chill. I just like places to chill. Big Bear Studio has gone through a million evolutions. It was originally a Zeo Life gym. Once we started to get into My Story, I changed it to a My Story gym. It's a membership kind of thing. So you pay, I think it was like 200 Linden, you get membership to the gym. You could also work here if you wanted to with like no stipulations. All you had to do is like read the instructions and log into a tip jar and you're an instructor. We also had like these sweatbands to help you with your hygiene as you work out because these things would work you out. So over here you would select like different classes, like Pilates, there's boxing, there's spin classes, there's step classes, like yoga. So there are a bunch of different classes that are set up in here. And let me show you them all. You didn't even see that, did you? But yeah, the ski things. These are like the little ski machines. There's trampolines that you could jump all over. Air yoga, which are those like these rope things. I don't even know how to explain that. What is this? The core balance. So these were just like the balls that you basically do yoga on balls for. We had the boxing. This was before we really got into boxing in the city. There was step class, which when I would do classes here or be an instructor here, I would always lead a step class. And I know a couple of guys from GTA followed us over to Second Life and they would always like be instructors at the gym. I think it was low key because they had those voices, but step class was the one to do. We had cycling. What is a cyclone? I think it's another type of bike. Yeah, it's another type of cycling one. The core strength. I think these are just like ab mats. Yep. And then yoga, of course. But yeah, I thought it was a really cool concept. All these things are working your My Story stats. So I think they would give you like health and stuff, but they're depleting other things. Like for the more intense workouts, your hygiene's going down a lot quicker. You're getting thirstier. So also they're on like this back wall. There are all these different drinks that you could buy to hydrate or give yourself more energy. And then, of course, we had to have a bathroom because everyone has to go quite often with My Story things. And I was too lazy to build a whole like shower. So that was our shower. And then just a really cute little locker room, which I actually love the vibe in here. And then, oh yeah, I did replace the floors over here. I did that a few weeks ago. I enjoy building. So I always was in here like changing things around, but this is our boxing gym. So you guys know the new boxing system Vitality, which is a really cool and involved, what the fuck? Involved boxing system. Oh, they have a new feature where you can fight NPCs. And we're actually building a league in Bayside because this boxing gym exists and we have another one on the other side of the town. And one was going to be just like our amateur like fighting league. You can fight NPCs, build all your stats up, and one was just meant to be the practice gym. This was kind of the practice gym. We had a Vitality coach come in occasionally and would lead classes, and it was just a really cool thing to do. We all loved it. I think started to use the boxing system a little more for street fighting, low key. But it was really cool to come in here and see people training and just like meet people that way. And then of course the Vandermeer. These have some of our condos in the city. So that was just a cool building. And I remember seeing this concept pop up in some other cities afterwards. But I remember when this Ansu building came out is when we had first started Bayside. So I was like, we have got to stack those. We've got to make them apartments because it's reminding me of this apartment building that's in West Hollywood, kind of near the Grove. So that's what I built that after. But like I said, I saw that. I saw y'all. I saw that building pop up. I mean, it's not a revolutionary idea, but y'all saw it here, and then y'all did it. Don't play with me. This is just a random house. This little area over here is a little cafe. This has been a million different things over time. It used to be a different building. This is the first place where I had like this Meela's cafe thing. Before we had Bayside, or even I think during Bayside, I used to have this business called SLB&B where we had these Airbnb rentals all around the grid, mostly on mainland, so we could utilize the driver's grid of SL, their GPS thing, and every rental would have a grid drive related to that rental, so it would pass by it. And I had this one where I had like 6 or 7 different rentals on a couple of connected mainland sims that were all on the path of this grid drive. And in one area I had this cafe called Meela's Cafe, and it had the building that was before this one, but it had some of the seating. It was very earthy. I was obsessed with it. I brought that here first. And then a lot of people expressed interest in renting in it. So I got rid of all my stuff and let people rent it. And it has been a million different things over the past few years. And of course, you can't have LA without Runyon. So we made what we could with the hiking trail. Again, told you this was the first sim that we built. And neither Raina nor I had built a full sim like this to this extent when we got started. But this has been like the home of, I remember when we first started Bayside, we used to have all these murder mysteries. There's been dead bodies found up here. We have had so many 4th of July celebrations up here, so many barbecues, and just people like hiking around and running back and forth. And it's always been kind of a cool vibe to just like chill up here and kind of look at the whole city or look at the ocean and the snow-capped mountains, which do exist in LA. I remember there was a landscaper for something that was like, that's not realistic for LA. And I was like, you go sit in Hollywood and tell me what's realistic for LA. Well, we can still see snow-capped mountains. Maybe not full year. Although, I don't know. I have to check it out because I feel like late spring, I still see them. All right. Again, kind of winded. It's been a long day of streaming, like I mentioned. And then this area is our Larchmont area. So in LA, there is an area called Larchmont that I got very comfortable with when I first moved here because I moved from Boston and I was missing Boston. I was missing autumn and New England. And I remember coming across Larchmont. And Larchmont is like one of the unique places in LA that has like those trees that could produce like New England foliage, but you know, not exactly, but it felt very much East Coast. So there are different parts of Larchmont. There's this like one side that has a bunch of shops and restaurants, like walkable things. And then the other side has like, I forget the name of the cafe. I used to eat there all the time, but it's very closed in. A lot of writers go there. It's very close to Paramount Studios. So you run into random actors just like minding their business and having tea. But there's a lot of people like working on things and lots of writers, lots of artists just sketching and being chill. I didn't put a cafe like that over here. I mean, I guess that's kind of what that would have been, but I wanted just like the space to feel like a mix between city and kind of rural or earthy. So that's kind of the mixed vibe over here. We had a gym here too. I was very big into SML at the start of my channel. Like those were some of my earliest streams. So I definitely wanted to bring an SML gym over here. It's a tight space. I do honestly genuinely prefer tight spaces, and we weren't going to get all the huge equipment. So it worked for me. A lot of people hung out here and we do the little lucky letter things or the dailies. But this is a really cool system. There's a million gyms all over the grid. And then we had the Larchmont apartments. Some of these came furnished and would just rent out. I think Yams was the agent on these. So those have always been cool. I'm losing control of my camera because like I'm not lagging at all. The community garden is a new addition. So once I kind of got into my story gardening, I was like, I need a space. I haven't been here since Halloween. I forgot to pick these up. But this was my community garden spot or plot. I had a lot of fun gardening, and I mean, I like the idea of cooking with all the stuff that I gardened with, but I never got around to cooking very often or even doing anything with the things from my garden. But it was a cool idea. There were so many times where all of these were completely full, and I would run into people at the garden and we would just chill and chat, or I would post that I'm here on Facebook and people would drop down. This is really pretty. How pleasant. I love that. And people would also rent these out and sell seeds, so people didn't even have to leave to get their gardens in order. It was a lot of fun. And then back here, we have what I call the serial killer house. This has been a few different houses, but we've always kept this drive the same. But I just feel like this looked like a big serial killer house. But I absolutely love it. And it kind of reminds me, there's damn, I don't remember what the movie's called. But this like rich dude has been kidnapping and eating people. That sounds terrible, but it was a movie on Hulu and it was actually kind of good, but his house looked just like that. And then this has to be like maybe one of my favorite neighborhoods in the city. So this is Little Tokyo. And eventually I wanted to open up these little vendors if people were going to get into the role play and they could kind of just do whatever they wanted. But a lot of people just aren't role playing to role play. A lot of people role play to like make money. So I don't know what they could have done in there. Didn't really happen. This little spot's been a million things. It's been restaurants, cafes, tattoo parlors, clothing stores. Like it's been so many things. This was a part of the original Little Tokyo. This building wasn't. This one's kind of new. There used to be a different building here, but I ended up replacing it with this. And a lot of these are just space fillers. We did have Mega. This is actually a My Story social spot. So if you sit on things in here, it gives you social. And I think happiness as well. So it doesn't serve any other purpose than giving you social and happiness for your stats. And then there's a dance studio that serves no purpose but being a space and allowing people to take pictures and role play if they wanted to. And this is a very, very cyberpunk type building. Like, I still have sounds off, don't I? Oh no, but I'm very far. Everything's making like very cyberpunk like sounds when you open the doors in here. But this has had, I feel like, just people who appreciate kind of the cyberpunk gritty vibes, because this used to stay rented and I had to actually close down a few of the rentals because we were running out of perm space back here. This was a new addition. Oh, and then there's like an apartment building over the tattoo shop. And I've seen people do wonders with that space. I don't know how they do it. But this was a new addition. I added this after kind of a recent round of access. This was a backdrop and I just tore it apart and put the buildings in separate spaces so I could have these really tight alleyways, because I feel like that's what I really appreciate about Little Tokyo in real life. It's just kind of, I don't know, the vibe of it. It's like a city within a city and it's really cool. And I threw this basketball court out here literally because I couldn't think of anything else to do in this little corner. I guess I could have like thrown some chairs and seats or whatever, but it's a playable basketball thing and I thought it was fun, so why not? We've also had several crimes happen here and there's always somehow CCTV. So all the like roleplay crimes that have happened here and people have put in the Discord, there's always footage of it, mine included. And then we had our little cafe in here, or our little market. People would rent these out and sell various things that usually complemented whatever roleplay system we were working on. So initially Zeolife and then My Story, of course. And people that live in the city, as long as you had like your residence tag on, you were welcome to kind of work in here and role play and sell your own items if you had them. And then you could go in. This is also kind of a grittier, grungier building. People have rented these out mostly as apartments, but I've seen a business before. I've seen an office open before. And then at the top of the building, there is this little adults only thing. There's a little bit of lore associated with this bar, so there's some info in there. And then it's just a really cute little like tight. Who the fuck? I did not. What the fuck? Hold on, sorry. It's a tight little bar. Anyway, I accidentally opened a DM with someone I did not mean to open it with. I don't even know who it was. But yeah, this is another thing where if you live in the city, you could just log into a tip jar, let people know to come visit you, and you could play bartender whenever you wanted. And then there was a little balcony out here. I've had so many meetups after stream just out here chilling around. There is a Coke table, but we played like Truth or Dare and what's this one? Never Have I Ever. And this was just a fun little place to be. And we would like do little karaoke things out here. Like things were fun. It's funny because like the more I go through this and the more these memories pop up, I'm just like, yeah, we had so much fun. There were so many times where it was so busy and so active, and I've met so many people here that, you know, good things just do have to come to an end. I just added these parking spots in that light. We had a little laundromat. Um, I started to put my story laundry things in here. I didn't realize that they weren't copies, so I remember I only put one out. Also, this is probably the most used bathroom in the city. Like, everyone comes in here to go to the bathroom. Um, but yeah, public bathroom, yay. And then there's another little alleyway back here. I never quite finished what my plans were. I was gonna do these like tight kind of cyberpunk cafes, but I just kind of hid it away so nobody would look in here until I was finished, and I never quite finished. So that didn't happen, and this was supposed to be another like kind of gritty, grungy cyberpunk cafe. Thought it was gonna be cool. At first, I wanted it to be kind of like a back alley plastic surgery thing where people go to get their lip injections. So anyway, that is the main Bayside sim, the first sim that ever came to be. This is what, 4 years old now. I remember creating this like when I was very new to YouTube, and I remember opening it up and throwing a party the first time we ever opened for the first time. And I remember we had a wait list for years. So, you know, like I said, we've had a time here. Um, and this is also where I celebrated getting like 10,000 subscribers on YouTube. We had a huge block party. I forgot to even show this little thing. This is like a little tiki bar that has been in a million different hands before. But we had a block party right here. And I think when I was celebrating either 15, I don't think it was 20, it might have been 15,000. We had another block party over here, and it was just a lot of fun. We had a block party right here once. I don't even remember what we were celebrating. I think we were just throwing a party. All right, onward. So then we get to West Bayside, which if you know anything about direction in Second Life, this is to the east of the original Bayside. Did I know that when I started? No, I told you I didn't know anything about land. But I found this later. I don't know what this used to be. I think this used to be like a sandwich shop, but when I came across this building, I was obsessed with it because this is like just like Randy's Donuts, which is a huge staple in Inglewood. This is one of our My Story supermarkets. This is actually owned by Kaylee, who has owned this bubble tea cafe forever, or I guess let it go recently. But that used to be a Zeo Life cafe. I don't think she ever changed it from being Zeo Life, and then opened the My Story supermarket right next door. This is Rodeo. This is probably our newest building. Another thing that I took a million different pieces and put it together to make an apartment building, and I was working on the rooftop to make just another lounge. Honestly, it probably wouldn't have been used, so like I'm glad I didn't finish. But we had a whole ribbon cutting ceremony when this opened up, and that was so much fun. And my little GTA boyfriend lived in here before we broke up, but you know. So that was really cool. We actually used to have a building across the street on top of this one, and I took it down and replaced it with that one just because it felt like I just wanted to something new, and I feel like it gave it a more modern look. We had a public bathroom over here. This thing has been a million different things, from I think stores. There was a travel agency there once. There was a nail salon before. This cafe, I don't know if I've ever seen it open, but it's been there for a while. There's an apartment right above it. Beverly Hills Hotel was a concept that I started and never finished, but I just decided I wanted the exterior done and wasn't too worried about the inside because I wasn't really prepared to operate a hotel. We started decorating it on a stream though, just I think for shits and giggles, and I was kind of modeling it after the Sheraton in North Hollywood. I don't know why specifically that one, but the space felt like it, even though it was between that and there's this Santa Monica proper. So it was like a mix between the Santa Monica proper and the Sheraton in North Hollywood, but the one that's like near Universal Studios. I don't know why I was going with that, but I didn't finish in here. I didn't even get that far. I did start some of the rooms. So basically the elevator over here would bring you to the rooms, which were skybox rooms and like on their own separate parcels. So they would be private. Didn't finish the pool, but you know, started it. there wasn't a huge demand for a hotel, but I feel like it took up a cute little space. Back here is Whittier, kind of one of the more private neighborhoods in Bayside. Ooh, they've decorated that cute. I say private, but I live right above here, and I used to accidentally drive my car off that cliff all the time, end up in whoever lived here in their yard all the time. This, I actually love their space because they have just nice, like, backyard, and then just extra space to walk out to the ocean. I don't even know what this is. Someone's little cushion. You know, usually if I was going around Bayside, like, seeing things, I would be cleaning up along the way, but I'm like, this ain't gonna be here. It's fine. I thought I would be sadder. I feel like I'm getting less sad the longer we do this. And this is our police station. We actually had this whole system for PD to, file police reports, for the DMV to store licenses. It was a really cool system. Couldn't get anyone to work the DMV, even though this was one of the very few positions in the city, like city role play positions that weren't a business, but that paid. But people did not like the job. I personally love DMV role play. Like, sorry, I got a random DM. I love DMV roleplay. I do it in GTA all the time. That's why I brought the same exact system from GTA into Second Life, and I enjoyed it. Like, look back at some of my roleplay streams while I was working in DMV. I always had a great time. We also had some fabulous court cases in this courtroom. Like, this was so much fun. I'll try to find some roleplay videos if you guys want to check those out, but there are a lot of them, and I think the most notable was Carmen Royale against Rich, I think, for something. I don't even remember what. And Monasia was the judge. Misty was a lawyer. I don't know what my role was in anything, or if I was just spectating. I cannot remember. We had some people on the jury. It was just a lot of fun. It was like the role play that I love. And then, of course, upstairs from the courthouse and the DMV, you have PD. And we never actually got a police department together. I remember once I hired a chief, but, and I kind of give people freedom. Like, you're the chief, do whatever you want to do, however you want to do it. And they very quickly get overwhelmed by that. But, whatever. And then we have the jail cells in here for anyone that was being held. I was actually going to start building a prison. But, like I said, I don't know. I kept coming across police chiefs that didn't really know how to get it together. Or they would want to, like, build a million things, but had no idea how they wanted to approach the role play. This is our locker room / bathroom, another bathroom that everyone welcomed themselves to use publicly. And this was like our PD training room / dispatch. So dispatch was over here. There's 2 desks. This is supposed to be like the little assistant. And this one was the main dispatch. So that was fun. There were a couple times me and Carmen King played roleplay police in here. I remember my video didn't have any audio, and like we never ended up publishing it, but the time we spent in here being thought cops was so fun. Me and Marina also played as PD a few times on stream. This is still out from Halloween because we did 30 Nights of Horror, where I had a huge screen here and we would do a drive-in movie theater, and I had a bunch of seats out and stuff. And people could get popcorn and different snacks. So that was what that's left over from. Oh, there's so much more. I don't know why I thought this was going to be a quick. How long have I been recording? I don't even know. Oh my God, 36 minutes already. So BUFC, this has been a million different things. All except a fast food restaurant. I think one person owned it and made it a fast food restaurant. I think it was Story. And he had a drive-through. Like, it was a really cool vibe. And then he had like hard drugs hidden in the back, which I always loved the idea of. This terrace was when there was an apartment building back here. What is that? What was floating? I am gonna return this. Okay. And then this was like our little promenade. Back when we had the mall, because we had the Monarchy here, and we had the Monarchy Mall. This was usually the advertising for the different vendors who were in the mall. So that was cool. And then over here, there was another little like cafe or sometimes business. This has been a million things. It was a My Story like little market for a very long time. This is a house. This is a house. I have much to say about the houses, but they're houses. And then this was our Wilshire apartment building, which is one of my favorites. As a role player, I always loved little apartments like this. Like there was a business on the bottom. This has been a million things too. This I remember at one point was a gotcha shop, thrift store, it was so cool to look at. And then you have people's apartments. These are all so cute. This is the type of living I like when I'm in role play. I like to be in small spaces close to other people. I always just have the most fun there. This was the quirky building I got out of nowhere and decided to shove over here because it kind of reminded me of some of the houses that are right on the beach in Santa Monica. And I was like, I gotta have it. And I always thought it was cool. I've seen a couple of people decorate it. All of these open up from inside. It's a really cool like view to look out. I always loved it over here. It's got short ceilings though, and some of us are really tall avatars. And then the longest driveway in the city. I was always upset that no one who lived here ever wanted to throw parties because I feel like this is just such a good party house too. But I've seen it decorated beautifully. People have done like snaps with that one. This one is the driveway of hell. I think Dante lives here still, and he has a really cool spot. He's hosted a couple of like Sunday dinners when I wasn't able to, but he had his place decorated. It's such a really cool bachelor pad. Dante is like one of my oldest Second Life friends, and like one of my only friends that lives in Bayside. And it was just really cool to be able to like come down the hill and go to his house. If you've seen my videos of me coming down this monstrous driveway in a huge van, like it's ridiculous. This was experimental, but I low-key love it. And Dante likes it there, so it works. Our infamous Bayside sign, I kind of wanted it to have like that Hollywood sign vibes, but just be Bayside. So that's where that is. And then you continue to climb the hill. And I think this is Hillcrest. And then, actually, I don't know. I think this might be, I don't know what this is. Let me look at the mailbox. I can't see mailboxes. I can see this one. Oh, Highland. This is North Highland. So these are like once you start to get to the hills, you have some of the bigger houses. This is a quirky build. I've never seen anyone fully decorated. I think people get overwhelmed and don't know what to do with that one. I replaced it or that's a new house. It used to be something else. And then up here you have Highland. So I think the same person has lived in this house this whole time. I feel like I need to bake them a real life pie. They have lived here since the start of Bayside. Shout out to this person. Love you to pieces. My heart breaks that you're no longer going to be my neighbor. And this is my house. This is the second build that I've had up here. I had the same house for years, and then I finally just put this one out. I never decorated. I don't ever finish decorating my place. I host Sunday dinner, or I used to host Sunday dinners here all the time, and just invite anyone who wanted to come from around Second Life or in Bayside. A lot of people would make it like potluck style and bring their own stuff, but a lot of times I would cook, and I would also make custom food for the dinners. And Faye, of course, would fabulously come with the most beautiful like gifts for everyone. And then, had my home office over here. Oops. So that's always like a really chill space, but I did prefer working at the Vanderbilt office. And then I had this is the VR thing from Canopy, always fun. Me and Adonis would just randomly be on that thing running around. And then, the living room, have all the baby stuff out. Me and Brandon had little action figures of ourselves made. It was very random. I don't know why we did this, but it was fun, and I felt like I looked damn good in that bikini, so I was feeling it. And then, upstairs is Akello's room. I usually do her room. This is unfinished, but usually in houses I get her room done. And then my room, never finished, kind of bare, very bare. I'm starting to lose my voice. We've been talking for so long. I don't know what's over here. Oh no, that's Akello's room. I don't know what's over here. I think this is the bathroom. Yeah, that's bathroom. And then this is a guest room. I actually did put some stuff out in here. I started. But anyway, I never decorate my own home. It's rare. But I do love my little driveway. Oh, wait. And then I did put laundry in the garage. Oh, and a Urus. Did I put laundry? And then I have this long walkway that leads to my garden. And my plan was just like to continue to grow the garden until it reached all the way around the house. But I have my goat back here watching over all my plants and my weed. So that was cute. Ooh, I'm getting phlegmy. Okay, we can cross over into the next sim, which is still called the Monarchy because I never changed the sim name. Because like I wanted it to be mine forever. But this is the Marina, which is actually attached to this West Bayside. And when we first started, or there are jet skis still over here where people could ride it over there, but I would always like res my boat out and actually boat over to this area. And there are two like little marina houses, and I have seen people do such creative things here. One of them was fully furnished, and she actually left the furniture. And we were like, "Can we just rent this as furnished?" But it was all Zeo Life, and then we replaced everything with my story. So Yams, these are her properties, and she actually made this one fully furnished. And one of my alts lived here for a time, and I just loved being over here. I was obsessed with it. And over here, there's this like restaurant. I started to build it as my own restaurant called Uvo, but then someone wanted to rent it and they rented it for a while and it looked really cool. But I took all my like signage down. I had huge signs on everything, but this is a very beautiful space. I'm obsessed with it. And more jet skis for when you have to go back. This area has also evolved a million different times and been a million different things before. Um, Instead of going over the street, let's just go into the other sim here. So this is where the second boxing gym was going to be. And this is where people could come and box an NPC boxer and like start to level up and all these cool things. And you could take the elevator upstairs and this is where people could train. We never quite finished setting this up, but it was a really cool space. I was really looking forward to hosting some fight nights and things in here because it's like such a bougie gym, but I loved it. And we're actually putting together a boxing team for Bayside, and this was going to be the boxing team's housing. I have purposely never opened up either of these two buildings because I wanted them to have some sort of purpose besides just being a building. Or I was going to make them kind of like the projects, but it felt a little too fancy, but who knows. A lot of people loved kind of crazy RP and they always hung out at this gas station. And I never opened up this mechanic shop, but my goal was to like kind of make this a little bit of a gang area. Even though it's very pretty, but still, you know, things go down. These, of course, were apartments. I've seen people get really creative with these as well because they have really high ceilings. So I've seen people like build up and make them two-story, which was interesting. Graffiti and street art is a huge thing in LA. So I have a lot of random like murals out. Oh, this one I actually made myself, which I was obsessed with. And it's a couple of my like older emotes. Like this one in the middle was my old emote. And these other two funny guys that I made out of with AI and just some letters on Canva. I thought that was fun. That was fun to do. And this is Phase. We love Phase. Phase has such cool stuff. And Phase completely changes the layout of this restaurant like seasonally and introduces a brand new menu all the time and throws like the prettiest events. And it looks like they're like in transition because they face snaps. And I think she makes all of her own like custom food. Let's go to this museum area. So this was kind of just an art gallery. We had a few events here. I think most notably the Black History Month event that we had last year was gorgeous. Was a lot of spoken word and poetry, and there was a full exhibit that looked amazing. It was in collaboration with the I think it's the Moreau Museum, and they had a really cool exhibit in here that people could walk around, explore, learn a lot about Black history, and then there was the big event, and it was just beautifully done. It was such a fun event to go to. This is our main street, so there's a little record studio in here. There are a couple of restaurants. This is the entrance to the apartment building above. This has been a million different things too. Everything here has been a million different things, but this is the apartment building, and then above this apartment building is the rooftop bar, and we've had very many cocktail hours here. I remember I used to do this True Crime Tuesday, so we would play random true crime and just chat and bartend and role play. And it was a really cool vibe. I do a lot of voice role play, so it was a lot of people just like in here on voice, and I love the vibe of that, especially in Second Life. Even though spatial audio is not a thing, but you know, it's a tight space, so it didn't really matter. Ooh, pardon. I'm talking so much. Oh, this link to my Buying Bayside series, which is still on YouTube, so be sure to check it out if you are into it. Oh, we did have a purge during Halloween. That was crazy. Over here, we have just like a chill spot. We have the tennis court. I'm getting so congested. There's this like little coffee shop, which I always said like if I rented this and I wanted to throw events, I would throw like tennis events because they're right across the street and it's something that could really attract you. But a lot, I mean a few people. This is kind of new. It used to be a different type of coffee shop. It was real kawaii before. Um, so yeah, there's that. The Emperor. I have a love-hate relationship with this building. I was actually in the process of replacing it. But I remember at one point I redid the entire lobby to just like make it look a little more modern and updated. And again, I'm obsessed with stone and nudes and all of that, but never quite finished it. And I closed this building down. So the plan was to completely replace it, and I never got around to doing it. I mean, it was right before I left SL that I closed it down. Anyway, beautiful. Over here, we had the high school that I never opened. Excuse me. Um, yeah, I just didn't want to. Cause my first place ever role playing in Second Life was at a high school. So I mean I did start to build it and we were gonna open it soon. We actually did host some role play things in there. I remember Misty hosted like a class and we all came together and role played and like went to the cafeteria and everything. It was like absolute chaos. It was very much felt like an improv show or something. But yeah, the first place I ever role played in Second Life was a high school, but it was very much an adult high school. And I noticed the people that were showing interest in this wanted to actually be children. And while Bayside is friendly to children, I don't think that was the vision I had for the high school. So I never quite finished it, but you know, there it is. And then this was just like the little library for the high school, but this is actually where we hosted. So Misty is writing a book and we had like a book club thing. Like she came and read some excerpts and we provided the book to everyone and they came and they were able to ask her. There was like a Q&A session. It was really cute. I think I streamed it, so check the videos if you didn't see that one. And then we have our hospital over here. So there's two random like little suites that were up for rent, but then this is our hospital. And very much like PD, it was on kind of a similar system, a similar roleplay system. This is our like emergency room reception. I did make this a very quirky hospital, but this is the waiting room. Those are a couple of vending machines, more waiting room area, triage. I'm actually obsessed with this hospital. I really wanted to roleplay here heavy, but never got around to it. This is just like the main reception because there were practices upstairs. So if you needed to check in for a practice and wait for your doctor, you had the option here. There's also this, you could teleport directly to any of the suites. Over here, we had the pharmacy. I never ended up stocking it up, but I think at one point I just decided maybe we could rent all the spaces out and people could sell their own things. Because people make like medicines and all these things for my story, but didn't get to it. But I've seen a lot of really cool roleplay happen in the hospital. I have ended up in the hospital several times because we know I used to love to die in my story. And I would just come in here to recoup and recover. So I was always in there. And it would be so funny because people would come visit me in the hospital. And, oops, this is the other, like, room. This one's a double. But it was fun. And then these were a private suite. So people could rent these out and make them whatever. Oh, and there's like a nurse's station downstairs. Oh, and there's like an ER bed. So these are ER beds. And the little, oh, there's a lab in here. And the nurse's station. And back here is the chief's office. So cute, cute, cute. Where am I going? Let's go up the hill. We're going to just go over to Vinewood. Vinewood. First, I called the neighborhood Mirror Park. So the plan was to put the next sim over here to expand on Mirror Park. Mirror Park is my favorite neighborhood in GTA. So this is where some of the GTA influence started coming in. Mirror Park is not this big, beautiful place. Mirror Park has like some of the more like humble homes, but still cute. But then I named the street Vinewood, which is a whole different neighborhood in GTA. But they're my faves. And it's really fun when people have these all rented. They did their big thing for Halloween because they all had their houses decorated for Halloween, and it was so cute, and it was fun to trick or treat over there. I like my earthy things, so of course we had to do a little campsite. Halloween, this was fun. We read spooky stories. I remember I was reading like Reddit stories. Some people read their own stories. That was a lot of fun. And then we have like, they're all My Story, of course, and there's like a little My Story outhouse out here. And then the way to wash your hand was to actually sit on that hose. It was cute. And then back here we have the block. So in LA, downtown LA, there's a block that's called the block, and it has a bunch of businesses. It has some retail shops, lots of like, there's a Starbucks, a couple of restaurants, a Sheraton, and it's a really cool space. So I don't remember what I had here before, but then I saw this building and I was like, we gotta have it. So I replaced whatever used to be there. It was probably a basic coffee shop with that. This was also like the home spot. I built up a whole like platform, and we had a corn maze and everything for Halloween, and it was the spawning spot for the purge. So every time you died, you ended up like spawning back over there. This is actually our landing point. So it takes you to this little visitor center, and there's like details on how to get started. We had a list of events here, the different destinations in the city, so you wouldn't have to figure out like how to walk around and find everything. Valentino, never mind. There's also kiosks for rentals, more information about like cool things to do in the city. We had our community meeting out here last time, so that's still left over. This is my little shape shop back here. I considered like maybe just taking this and leaving it on my small sim that I keep. I have a separate sim. I might keep it. I don't know. Maybe not for now. I'll take it. I'll keep it, but maybe we'll open it in the future if I ever come back to Second Life. Because the shape shop's on Marketplace. It's like, I don't need to be here. Bayside B&B. We try to bring that SLB&B business I had to Bayside, and people could just make whatever their rentals were into like vacation properties or sublet them to people, and they could just utilize this office and direct people there to get started. Didn't finish the staffing agency, but that's where it was going to be. And then I was going to put sponsor shops back here after we closed the Monarchy, but didn't get around to doing that. In the pool, we had, this is just the home to so many parties. We've had so many parties here. I remember Smoke Fest was here one year, and this was like it was literally right there. So this was the closest like party spot next to it. So a lot of people were like partying here. They had big screens set out. It was really cute. And then we have a bar over here. And then my favorite spot in the city is probably Perch, which is this rooftop bar. Finally, my Perch. I told you when I first started that first little block in Bayside, or not even in Bayside, before we had Bayside, I wanted a restaurant called Perch because it's my favorite restaurant still in LA. But I decided to just kind of go with a kind of intimate bar vibe instead, with really cute views of the city and a little VIP area and a little balcony, just like something small and simple. It was meant for anyone that was like working in the block to be able to come here. And there's actually office spaces in this building. There's a couple elevators down here. One leads to all the offices. So we have offices here, and then we have skybox offices, which are those huge. I might take you over there. I don't know, maybe. It's not in the city, so this won't take too long if I start showing you all of the skyboxes that we have, but we have a bunch, and we call the building Skyline. So you click it and it will bring you to wherever your apartment is. If you have a Skyline apartment, they are huge apartments. They're all skyboxes. There's a million of them. We don't have time for that. That will take us ages. But that is Bayside. Well, that is this part of Bayside. Like I said, we're not going to the skybox sims because there's a lot. There's a lot going on. But Yeah, I'm actually glad I did this. I was very sad about the concept of letting all of this go. I think I've just grown so attached to it. Like, it's been years. I think 4 years. We celebrated a few months ago. Um, so it was my graduation from making Second Life content. I think it's also Bayside's graduation to just like die. That's terrible to say. But I really loved it. I love what the memories I have here. I have so many memories. It's crazy. A lot of them were captured on stream. A lot weren't. But um, yeah, again, I can't thank everyone enough for all of the memories that I have here. Oh, I guess I can show you the Monarchy really quick before we leave. Because the Monarchy closed years ago. I closed the Monarchy years ago, but I did not take down the building because I am wildly attached to things. So this will finally be gone, which is going to be surreal. I can't even pick it all up just because it's like a million prims and a million attachments because I literally built this from prims and random things. The last thing that we did in here was my birthday party this year. So I actually celebrated my birthday here. I think it was November 1st, and that was the last time that I was fully in Second Life. And I love the way we throw parties in Bayside because there's DJs here, but people are also voice role playing. And I just had such a fun time doing all that. And there was a really cool DJ. We had a bunch of like reggaeton and Spanish DJs because it ended up being on Day of the Dead. Um, so that's what we did for the party, or the day after, I think. But it was so fun. We did some giveaways. We had some VIP booths back here. So, I mean, the club isn't exactly as it was when it was open because I took a lot down, but I love this build. Things are still like popping up. But I absolutely loved it here. It's going to be weird that this is just about to be a part of my memory because, like I said, I just never got rid of the building. People with the old Monarchy landmark would land up here all the time. This was our 11th room. There was 11's menu on the wall, but I think I took it down for the party so no one got confused about what we were doing. A bunch of the Monarchy girls came out though and danced, and it was a lot of fun. These used to lead to all of the private rooms, but it was so fun. And then this was the big stage room. We used to have different shows in here. This was another stage room, but I actually took all of this down because it was just taking up rooms I didn't need. And it was never my favorite room, but this was. I loved it in here. But yeah, that is still just chilling in the sky over Bayside. I think that is everything, child. I'm like, where did I end up? I guess I can show you one of the offices. I'm gonna show you one office and that's it. I'll just show you the DOJ office. Oh, I forgot we went shopping the other day and we're trying on different lipsticks. I'm like, what are these lips on me? I don't recognize these. So this is the building that was going to be the DOJ office if we got any judges and people into seats. But I think I was trying to start with the position of power, so the deputy or the attorney general, but nobody over the past year maybe no one wanted positions of power anywhere. Like no one wanted any sort of power. And unfortunately, I cannot be every single role in the city. So we just did not open the DOJ. But this was going to be. Oh, I froze for a second. This was going to be the DOJ. It's a really cool office building. And then some of the other office buildings don't have that long hallway that we walk through. They just stop right here. So this is where you would end up with the teleport. But in this one, it has the long one. A couple of the offices have these. Because we were very much a corporate girl city. Anyway, I thought I was going to do some like really cute cinematic walkthrough of the city. And no, it's just turned into an hour long freaking tour of the city as it is before its final days. But I just sent a message out to the people that I was talking to about potentially co-owning. I'm about to send, I think I'll wait till morning to send out the message to the overall city. I'm going to send a message to the real estate group now. And yeah, that the end of an era, the end of a very fun era. I have to say, we just had so many fun memories here. I've had so much fun role play. There used to be a bank here. We robbed that bank and had a whole getaway, and it was crazy. We've had a lot of good times here. And just again, major shout out and big thank yous to everyone who made that time possible. I really appreciate your support and your role play and just your presence here over the past several years. I truly did have a great time here. And I really just love what it was. Even when we had the mall here, it was just such a cool vibe and such a resource for people that were new to joining Second Life. And there's been so much help for new residents here. Like, I can't even begin to walk through all the moments and the times that we had here. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this very long walkthrough and review of what Bayside's been. If you catch this video before Bayside closes, pop over, take some pictures. I would love to see you in Bayside one last time. We have a Discord server that I'll link, and you can drop pictures in there. We used to have a lot of like vloggers and stuff here, so if you have videos, feel free to tag me and I'll throw them in a playlist. I used to put everyone's content in a playlist, and like it was on my homepage on my channel. But yeah, what a ride it's been. I'm excited for like my future. I was about to say the future of Second Life. I don't know. I don't know what my relationship will be with Second Life. You know, I'm not deleting my avatar again, coming back for access as long as they'll have me. You know, I'm opening up to other sponsors if they're interested. But I think in terms of following Meela Vanderbilt's life in Second Life, I'm putting that to bed along with the city. But I've had a lot of fun here, and I've had a lot of fun creating content over here and bringing roleplay to life over here. So no regrets, but I hope you guys enjoy this video. And if you want to see just more content in general, I'm working on reorganizing my entire homepage so you can kind of find what you're looking for a little easier. But I will see you in the next stream, either on a Sunday over here where we stream, or I stream a few times a week over on Twitch. So don't forget to like just pop in, say hello, and you know, just enjoy some times with us. There's a new game that I'm bringing to this channel that I'm really excited about. And there's another platform that I'm going to be building on, and building cities and building restaurants and building really cool things. So I hope you can join me for those. It'll be a lot of fun, but I look forward to seeing you in chat or seeing you in comments, but I'll talk to you soon. Bye. Oh, enjoy my Discord. We can chat back and forth there, and there are still lots of channels for Second Life in there. I'm not going to close all of those out, but you know, see you there. Bye.